Welcome back to the Messy Cook. Today we are making peanut butter Rice Krispie treats. These were something that were made by my niece, Bailey. So Bailey, this shout out is to you. We had these a few years ago at the old car show. She brought them and I'm addicted. I haven't made them yet, but man, they were so good. And I thought, you know what, let's add this to our Christmas baking. So I have sprayed a 9x13 pan with such as some canola cooking spray. You can use butter as well. So you want to prep your pan, and what we're going to do is start the mixture. Okay, so I've got the camera angled a little bit better now so we can see what's happening here. So what I have is 1/4 cup of butter in here, and we're going to add in 1/2 cup of peanut butter. So this is very similar to just a regular Rice Krispie recipe, but we're adding some stuff into it. This makes a nice nutty flavor. If you want to add a little bit of texture to it, you could add crunchy peanut butter if you like, but I think the smooth works better, so it's up to you. So we're going to add that in. I'm going to turn it on medium heat. This is my power burner, so I don't want to do it too high, but we're going to melt these together. As soon as this is kind of melded together, we'll chop that butter up. If it's softened, it'll be easier. If not, just chop it little pieces when you put it in your pan. And again, I'm going to use a spatula. It's just easier to keep the things off the side of the pan. So we're going to get that all melted together. And let's see, that'll take just a moment or two. I have set aside 5 cups of marshmallows, 6 cups of Rice Krispies. My regular recipe only calls for 5 cups, but this recipe calls for 6. And I will post it near the end of the video as well. So I'm going to continue to get this to melt, and then we're going to add those marshmallows in. Okay, so this is just about melted, as you can see. So I'm going to add in the marshmallows. So again, 5 cups of mini marshmallows. You can use the big ones too, but mini ones just melt quicker. So we'll keep this at a medium heat. We're going to mix this all in, coat everything up, and that heat will melt the marshmallows in no time. So I'm going to let this continue, and we'll come back when we're ready to add in the Rice Krispie squares. Okay, so the peanut butter and marshmallows and butter are all melted. I'm going to turn the heat off because we know this can burn very easily, and we don't want that. I'm adding in 6 cups of Rice Krispie squares. I suppose you could use other cereals too if you want, but Rice Krispie squares seem to be the commonplace. We're going to get this all mixed up, and then we're going to pour this in a 9x13 pan that I had prepped already. So I'll finish mixing that and we'll get this in the pan. Okay, so I've got this all mixed up very well. It smells delicious. Now, if you are allergic to nuts, you could do sun butter, which is, I think, sunflower seed butter. So you could do that in place if you want. It's a nice nuttiness to it as well. But otherwise, yeah, if you're allergic to nuts, you can't follow this recipe. But any butter will do. Almond butter, nut butter of some sort, cashew butter, peanut butter. I use peanut butter because that's what I have on hand right now. We're going to squish this down in the pan just like we did with the Rice Krispie squares. Now to top this and makes it a little bit more decadent, this one's getting sticky here, so I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to spray a tiny bit, literally a tiny bit of oil on that, spread it out with my finger, and we're going to, well, that didn't work. Anyhow, I'm going to work on getting this squished out in the pan. You may have to press some butter onto your hands or onto the spoon. Maybe I'll use a clean one and spray some of that on, and that will work a little bit better. We're going to spread it out into an even layer. Next, we're going to add in, we're going to spread the top with a chocolate mixture, some chocolate. This recipe calls for vegetable oil, which I don't have, so I'm going to add some coconut oil. So I'll show you that step next. Okay, so I ended up spraying a clean spatula with a little bit of vegetable spray and managed to flatten that out nice. So what I have here is 8 ounces of chocolate chips. Is about 1 1/3 cups. I used a 250 gram bag of Chippets, and that measures out to be exactly what I'm looking for. And we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of, you can use vegetable oil as the recipe calls for, but like I said, I don't use vegetable oil. We have coconut oil here, so I'm going to scrape out 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, and I'm just going to pop that in. This is going to help make it a little bit glossy, and it'll also help the chocolate firm up, because what we're going to do is we're going to melt this. I'm just going to do it in the microwave at 30-second intervals, and we're going to pop that and spread it over top of this lovely peanut butter Rice Krispie base. So let me get this melted and we will come back. Okay, so the chocolate is done. I melted it for 3 times at 30-second intervals with the coconut oil, so you can see this is nice and smooth. This worked out well. I'm usually not, I don't have very much luck normally with melting chocolate in the microwave. I tend to burn it, but this worked out well, so that's awesome. Let's see, we're going to set that aside. We don't want to miss any of it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to drizzle this over the top. So this way we can get as even a layer as possible. It's easier to drizzle first because then you can spread from there. So there we go, all the way across. I'm going to turn here because I'm right-handed and we can get the rest of this scraped out. We don't want to miss any single little bit of that. So let's get that all scraped. A little bit at the bottom, I don't want to miss that either. So there we go. And I will make sure we get what's on the spoon too, because that's a little bit there you don't want to miss. So on the outside, and what we're going to do is take a clean spatula. You can use a spoon, knife, whatever works for you. Spatula I think works really well, and we're going to spread this chocolate completely over the top into the edges of these peanut butter Rice Krispies, and then we want to let them cool. Now if I'm correct, and I hope I am, the coconut oil should make this keep a little bit of a sheen on the top, which will be kind of nice. So let's get this and make sure that's pressed down. This is nice because it gets into all the little grooves and the nooks and crannies. So every bite will get a nice little taste of chocolate and peanut butter. So I'm gonna get this all the way to the edges because I'm missing that. And there we go. So I'm gonna come back when this is cooled. We want to cool this to at least room temperature. This will freeze really well as well, so you can make this ahead of time and keep them in your freezer for Christmas if they last that long. So I hope you try this recipe. And again, I'll come back as soon as these are all cooled and show you what they look like all cut up. All right, we'll see you soon. So I also wanted to show you the recipe for these peanut butter Rice Krispie squares. Ingredients at the top: 1/4 cup unsalted butter, 10-ounce bag of mini marshmallows, so about 5 cups, 1/2 cup of peanut butter, 8 cups of Rice Krispie cereal, sorry, 6 cups, 8 ounces of chocolate chips, or 1 1/3 cups, and 2 teaspoons of vegetable or coconut oil, and grease a 9x13 pan with butter or nonstick cooking spray. Let me move this back so you can get the whole thing. There we go. So you're going to mix the butter, the mini marshmallows, and peanut butter together. Now I did the peanut butter and the butter first and then add the marshmallows in, but you can mix them all together if you want. Remove it from the heat, stir in the Rice Krispies, press the mixture into the pan, and you're going to press it all in there nice and firm. Let it cool a little bit. Melt your chocolate chips with your oil and pour it over, and then you're going to let it harden at room temperature. So cut into squares. You can keep it in an airtight container. Hopefully that's not wiggling too much, and you can freeze these really well. So we'll show you the end when we're all done. Okay, so these are our peanut butter Rice Krispie squares. I did have to put them in the fridge because the kitchen and the dining room where I'm cooling everything is not cool enough, so I've opened some windows, but it's pretty chilly here in Ontario. So I've cut them up. They were a bit tough to cut only because some of the chocolate had hit the sides, I think, and just didn't seem to want to come out very well. So I'm going to use a fork, and I did these small because these are actually fairly rich, and you can see. Hold one up here. It is a little bit, oh, there we go, sorry, my camera going. It's a little bit more dense, but it's a lovely layer of chocolate on the top. A little bit of a sheen. These are, again, peanut butter Rice Krispie squares. So I hope you try this recipe and enjoy it. I've had a couple too many sweets already today, so I'm gonna not have any right now, but I will try them. They're great to freeze. Again, another easy thing you can do ahead of time for the holidays. So enjoy, Merry Christmas, and come back soon for more videos. Yummy peanut butter Rice Krispie squares, great for the freezer, lovely for the holidays. Hope you enjoy this, and like I said before, if you are allergic to nuts, try it with sun butter, and maybe that will work for you. Merry Christmas.